Xbox boss Spencer, known as Phil Spencer, says Series S compatibility requirement isn't going away. Michael, you're already shaking your head, dude. Tell me about it.
I mean, you're going to name them all in the article, right? I mean, it is crazy the number of games, and it goes up every single day. How many? Oh, yeah, can't get on the Xbox because of the Xbox S issues. So, not a fan here, Drew.
Not at all. Tom Ivan over at VGC tells us all about it. Xbox boss. Man, I hate that statement, but it's the way it works. Phil Spencer has reiterated that the company doesn't have any plans to allow the release of Series X exclusive games. It's currently a mandatory requirement for developers to ensure that their games are compatible with both Series X and Series S in order to release them for Microsoft's consoles. But some developers have argued that having to cater to Microsoft's entry-level consoles limits the potential of current-gen games. Last year, Baldur's Gate 3 received a delayed release on the Xbox consoles after Microsoft allowed Larian to launch the S version without split-screen co-op, a mode it had been struggling to get working sufficiently on the lower-powered console. And this month, Black Myth Wukong developer Game Science blamed the Series S console for the game's no-show on Xbox platforms. There you go. However, in a new interview with Dustin Legary, Microsoft's gaming boss claimed that the having to develop both for the Series S could be advantageous for studios targeting a variety of platforms, including handheld gaming systems. Is that how you're getting around this one, Phil? Asked about the potential of dropping or relaxing the Xbox Series S requirements, Spencer said, quote, "In a way, I think about it in almost exactly the opposite way right now. With the rise of handheld PCs and even the introduction so far of the Switch 2, as developers, we're building on more device specs from lower powered because they're battery powered devices, all the way through things that plug into the wall. I actually think we have a real advantage because we've been targeting S for quite a while. That our games have been built and they're portable across many different specs." Michael, I'm gonna back up real quick here, right? Let me read this one sentence. With the rise of handheld PCs and even the introduction so far of the Switch 2, as developers, we're building on device specs from lower powered. Switch 2, lower powered. I'm just saying it right now. Quote, "So, when we look for something like a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally or something, we've got this S version of the games. And, well, that are more tailored to the device specs of a lot of devices that frankly are getting introduced right now. And I think that helps us." Michael, there's more to the article. If you want to check it out, you can. I want to get into the discussion, dude. Talk about it. Tell me your thoughts on this.
I mean, this is just another reason in the long line and growing list of reasons, Drew, to pick up a PlayStation at this point, right? Because they're already saying we're going to hold people to make the Series S. Baldur's Gate 3, massive game a couple of years ago. Black Myth Wukong, massive game last year, was in the Game of the Year nominee. Still, it's coming to Xbox. It's coming to Xbox. Now they basically said, yeah, it's not going to happen because we can't get it to work on the S. And we've talked about it all the time. Xbox saying all our games are going to go multi-platform. I mean, Phil Spencer kind of alluded to it, right? We're making games on lower powered specs because we have to make them for the S so that it can go everywhere. Okay, then I'm going to buy a PlayStation. I'm going to get all your games. I'm going to get all the games that can't go on the Xbox because they can't fit on the S. The S, I get it. I understand it's supposed to be the cheaper console for this generation. I absolutely understand why it exists. But man, oh man, at some point you have to realize, Xbox, that this just doesn't make sense. You're losing your consumers games they could be playing because of the issues. And again, I think this is another reason to go PlayStation. This kind of also made, to me, Drew, alludes that if we get that alleged handheld that's coming in the next generation, Xbox is going to say, look, your game's got to work on our Xbox Generation 6, and they've got to work on the handheld. And it's just buy a PlayStation or get a PC at this point and play your Xbox games day one on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird standing. I think where we're at right now, the Series S being a requirement has always held developers back, right? So now you have to split the SKU and then lower power yourself, but then you don't get the full potential of the X. What's the purpose, right? Instead, you go to PlayStation. You're gonna have Naughty Dog use the full potential of that PlayStation hardware, right? You're going to have Santa Monica Studios give you the full potential there. Every first-party studio over there is going to push that console. Where if you're Xbox, dude, they're not pushing. They got to lower their standards. And that hurts. Like, why would you do that? If you want the highest, the best, the greatest, dude, your PC. All the way, right? The new RTX 5090, like, man, it'll blow your socks off. Man, ray tracing and everything, all those other specs that has. If you're that hardcore, that's where you got to go. But if you're a console gamer, you have to almost accept this is where we're at. And then they're going to get requirements for, so you have to run on the Series X, you have to run on the Series S, and then you have to run on our handheld. It's like, man, oh man, there's just so many stepping stones to get over in order for this to work in the future. Makes me very nervous a little bit to see where Xbox goes next.